There's a powerful storm, Cyclone Ditwah, that's building up some serious strength in the Bay of Bengal. So what's the deal with the storm? Where's it heading? And most importantly, what do you need to know to keep safe? Let's get right into it.
Okay, so right now, a major weather system is churning out there, and it's putting millions of people along the coast on high alert. This isn't just some distant weather forecast. This is happening now, and it's developing fast.
So what exactly is Cyclone Ditwah? I mean, beyond just being a name you see on the news. Every one of these storms has its own story, its own classification, and that's exactly where we need to start.
All right, first up, a storm named Ditwah. To really understand what we're dealing with, you have to know its name, where it came from, and how it got here. And believe me, Ditwah's story started just a little while ago.
You know, the name itself has a pretty cool origin story. Ditwah was actually a name contributed by Yemen, and it's named after the Ditwah Lagoon on Socotra Island, which is a UNESCO biosphere reserve. And now it's officially classified as a cyclonic storm for this season. And just look at this timeline. It really shows you how fast this thing blew up. It went from just a little low-pressure area to a full-blown, named cyclonic storm in just a handful of days. That speed, that rapid intensification, is exactly what makes these storms so incredibly dangerous. It just doesn't leave much time to get ready.
Okay, next section, anatomy of a cyclone. To really wrap our heads around the kind of power Ditwah is packing, we've got to look under the hood and understand how these massive weather engines get built in the first place.
It all starts with one key ingredient, energy. And for a cyclone, that energy is warm ocean water. There's a magic number here, and it's 26.5 degrees Celsius. The water needs to be at least that warm. Well, guess what? The Bay of Bengal was recently hitting 30 to 31 degrees. That's like pouring high-octane fuel into a storm's engine. Once you've got that warm water, a really clear process kicks off. It begins as a low-pressure area. Think of it like a vacuum effect, pulling air up from the ocean. Then, as the winds get stronger, it becomes a depression, and then a deep depression. The final leap is when those winds cross 62 kilometers per hour. That's the moment it officially becomes a cyclonic storm and gets its name.
So what is it about this specific structure that makes it so destructive? It's not just about raw wind speed, it's the organized, spinning nature of the whole system. Let's break down the core parts. Right at the very heart of the storm is the eye. And here's the weird part, it's deceptively calm. If you are standing in the eye, the winds could be light, you might even see some blue sky. But don't let it fool you, because that calm is surrounded by absolute fury. And that fury is right here, in the eye wall. This is, without a doubt, the most dangerous part of the cyclone. It's this massive ring of thunderstorms that surrounds the eye, and it's where you'll find the most powerful winds and the heaviest rain. That stark contrast between the calm eye and the violent eye wall is the signature of a mature cyclone.
Okay, so we know how it works. Now for the million-dollar question. Where is this thing headed? Let's get into Ditwah's dangerous path.
The latest forecast shows the storm moving north-northwest. What that means is it's basically running parallel to the coastline, hugging the shores of North Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. And that path puts several coastal districts right in the firing line.
And when we say it's getting close, we mean really close. Some projections suggest the center of the storm could pass within just 25 kilometers of the coast. At that range, you're going to feel the effects as if it were a direct hit.
So here's the crucial thing to understand. Even if it doesn't make an official landfall, which is when the eye itself crosses onto land, it doesn't matter. Being that close means it's still going to slam the coast with its most dangerous impacts, like extreme rain and damaging winds. To make sure everyone understands the risk, the authorities use a simple color-coded system. Yellow means be aware, a heads up. Orange means be prepared, get ready for heavy rain. But a red alert, which has already been issued for several areas, that means take action. It means the risk is at its highest and you need to act now. So let's talk about bracing for impact. With those red alerts flying, you can be sure that authorities are not just waiting around. They are in full-on preparation mode for what's coming. So what are we actually up against here? The main threats are pretty clear. We're talking torrential rain that will lead to flooding, powerful winds that can tear up homes and infrastructure, and just massive disruption to everyday life, everything from power outages to transportation shutdowns. The good news is, a massive coordinated response is already in motion. The India Meteorological Department is pushing out constant updates. The specialized NDRF teams are already on the ground in the most vulnerable spots. Relief shelters are being opened, and flights have been canceled as a precaution.
All right, this next part is maybe the most important section of all. Let's talk about how to stay safe. With everything that's going on, what do you personally need to be doing?
First things first, only follow official information. Forget the rumors you see online. Stay away from the coast. And it goes without saying, fishermen should not be venturing out to sea. Around your house, tie down or bring inside anything that the wind could turn into a projectile, and get ready for possible flooding.
Now, if you are in one of those high-risk zones, you need to listen up, because this is absolutely critical. Find out where your nearest official shelter is right now. Get an emergency kit ready with food, water, and any medicines you need. And most importantly, listen to what the local officials are telling you. If they issue an evacuation advisory, you need to be ready to go.
You know, as we watch Cyclone Ditwah develop, it kind of forces you to zoom out and think about the bigger picture. With our climate changing and storms getting more intense and unpredictable, it raises a huge question. What does the future look like for those of us living by the sea? It's a tough question, and events like this one make it impossible to ignore. For now, please, everyone, stay safe.